What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we have a lot of stuff we need to talk about from OP-10. Lots and lots and lots of things have happened. We've got all of the special rares. We've got the manga rare. We've got the alternate art secret rares. We have got things we need to have a good old chat about. So let's have a good old chat about it, shall we? And let's start off having a little bit of a look at the manga rare. It's Trafalgar Law. I love this card, ladies and gentlemen. And I think a lot of other people are going to like it too. Law is very, very popular. Oh, you know what? While we're here, let's just show you the alternate art as well, which is actually Oda artwork. You can see, firstly, you can tell. Secondly, it's the same art as we see on the manga rare. And thirdly, there's no artist credit in the top right-hand corner. So you actually can get the Oda artwork of Law just in the alternate art. But of course, let's face it, that's not the same. We need the manga-y background and all of that. I like this card. And I do think Law does seem to be very, very popular. And I do think the Law is going to end up being one of the more popular manga rares. I could be wrong. I really thought Nami was going to be one of the more popular manga rares. But, look, Premium Booster 01 is out in Japan and has been for a while. And it's not happening over there. Like, as it stands at the moment, that is not really a thing. So, yeah. I just don't think it's that big a deal, the Nami. I don't think the Nami's this big powerhouse card. And it's been out a while and we've got a bunch of data, especially in Japan, to show us that. So we'll have to keep an eye on this one, I think. But I do think this is going to end up being one of the more popular of the manga rares. I do think it's going to end up being a pretty big deal. I think people are going to be loving it. That's what I think. In terms of what the card actually does, because remember, it is a new card. It is a brand new card that's coming around in this particular set. And when you play this, you can take a Supernova card from your hand and put it on top of your deck, face down. Or top of your life, I should say, face down, sorry. And then if your leader is a Supernova, you give a Rested Dawn to your leader. So you get a Rested Dawn, and you get to put an extra card on the top of your life face down. Which, fine, does give you -1 card in hand. That's not ideal. But it also gives you +1 life. And, of course, you hopefully put a card there which has a nice trigger. And then not only do you get +1 life, but when that life gets taken, your trigger activates and jobs are good'un. I like this. I like the manga rare. I think it's going to be big. I think it's a pretty cool card. But I showed you one alternate art secret rare. Seems rude not to show you the other. So here's the alternate art Luffy. And this might have to do with my color blindness. But I initially saw this and I saw a kind of a blurry picture on my phone. And my color blindness kicked in and I'm like, oh, are they bringing gold mangas back? No. No, they're not bringing gold mangas back. It's just a really cool alternate art of Gear 4 Luffy. And I think that's okay. Now, remember, once per turn, this character cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects. It's not all the time, it's only once per turn, but that is still going out massively. You may notice that, just on a side note here, you may notice this also is Oda artwork. Partly, it just blatantly looks like it, and partly there's no artist credit in the top right-hand corner. So I think it is quite relevant that both of the alternate art secret rares actually have Oda artwork being used on the card. And I know it sounds a little hypocritical how much I love this, given I've told you I don't like anime stills being used for the cards, but I'm honestly okay with that. I am cool using manga assets. I don't like seeing the anime assets. I would prefer to have new artwork. Sorry. But then we've got on attack. You can put 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order you like. And then if your opponent has got 5 or more cards in their hand, they have to trash a card from their hand. Yeah. Once again, this seems like a very, very good card. It's a 7k body, which your opponent has to try and use 2 effects to get rid of. And then you can keep your opponent down to like a 5-card hand, or really a 4-card hand, or go after it. Either way, that seems like a win to me. So there are your secret rares. What about your special rares? I'm going to start off with the Newgate here. I quite like Newgate. Newgate's a cool character, but this might be my favourite special rare we've seen so far. I adore this. I mean, firstly, you've got all the Whitebeard Pirates on there so you can play the whole spot the character game. Partly, they all look super happy, and that makes me happy. I just think this is a phenomenal special rare. But we also can have a quick look back at special rares from the last few sets, because things are changing a little bit. So in OP-10, which we don't have English scans, but we have Japanese scans, we had the OP-05 style. Look at Nami, for instance. So that's your OP-05 style, which we also had in OP-08 for what it's worth. Have a look at Charlotte Puddin'. That was that one. And then back in OP-07, we had this. So we're not even going that far back. This is like the OP-07 style, what I like to call the slice of life special rares. Obviously, the ones from OP-05 and OP-08 and OP-09 are very, very distinct in their style. These are a little bit different, and I kind of love it. And for what it's worth, we kind of had this style in OP-06 as well. I'll show you the Big Mum. That's quite a nice one. So we're back to the OP-06, OP-07 style of special rare here, and I think the Newgate is brilliant. In terms of which card it is the Newgate from Starter Deck 15, the brand new Starter Deck. 7 cost, 8,000 power, and on play, you give a Rested Dawn to your leader or one of your characters. And as an activate main, rest this character to KO an opponent's character with 5k or less. Yeah, it's really good, sees a bunch of play, and it's quite nice because we've only got the regular version in the starter deck. We don't get alternate arts in starter decks, so it always makes me happy when we get special rares of starter deck cards, because it's like, hey, we get a fancy special version of it, and that's lovely. As a side note, we did get a Newgate special rare back in OP-04, which was actually a very different style of special rare. Only the second set we'd had them. My least favourite, although the Boa Hancock is lovely, and people very much like it, and I pulled that one weirdly, but I really like Newgate as a character, but I really don't like the special rare from OP-04, so I really appreciate that we've got this new one, which is maybe my favourite special rare we've had so far. Charlotte Puddin' gets a special rare. This is also a new starter deck card, but it's from starter deck 12, the Sanji and Zoro starter deck. 2 cost, 2,000 power, counter plus 2,000, and activate main, return this character to the owner's hand. So you can basically get a body on the board here, but then put it back to your hand to give yourself a 2k counter in hand if you ever need it. And this is another one I think is phenomenal. I adore the artwork on this one. This is probably going to be a pain because Charlotte Puddin's very popular, but I love this one. I need to try and get hold of it. We did actually have a Charlotte Puddin special rare before. We had it in OP-08. So, you know, in that OP-05, 8, 9 style. So, yeah, it's quite nice. We like it. We also like Charlotte Flampay. Now, this is not a starter deck card. This is an EBO1 card. And there was an alternate art in EBO1, but I just think this is better than the old art in EBO1. It's actually a good playable card. 1 cost, 1,000 power, counter plus 2k. And on play, you can add a life from the top or bottom of your life to your hand, and then draw a card. So you lose a life, but you gain 2 cards in hand to jump ahead and hopefully take a life, and then it doesn't matter. You've accelerated your setup at the cost of 1 life. Hopefully it's going to be worth it. But it's another one that I really like the artwork. I am loving the special rares in OP-10, which makes me a little bit sad in a way because the special rares aren't always cheap. And I don't want to have to go and buy a bunch of expensive special rares. But then by the same token, it is beautiful, so what am I going to do? I do think it is better than the old art from EBO1, though. Let me know in the comments if you agree. We've got ourselves Uso Hachi, which has cool artwork, but I don't need this card. It's the one from Starter Deck 18, so another Starter Deck card here. And we got 3 cost, 3,000 power, counter plus 2k. And on play, if you've got 8 or more Don on your field, rest one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. It's alright. It's a pretty cool card. And Uso Hachi is cooler than regular Usopp, so you know, why not? Now, we're also getting a Sanji, and I know I've said this with most of the cards, and I don't care. I really like the artwork on this one. It is from Starter Deck 14, so we are really running the gamut of different starter decks here. 5 cost, 6,000 power, and on play, if you got a character with a cost of 6 or more, KO an opponent's character with a cost of 5 or less. But it's just really lovely artwork here. I think it's just nice. I really like these special rares in this set. I really hope the pull rates are obscenely high, so I can have them all, because they're wonderful. And then finally, and this one seems to stick out to me, we've got a special rare Arouge. And firstly, it's not a starter deck card or an EBO, it's just from OP-10. And it's just, I don't know, this just seems a bit out of place. The art is lovely, but I don't need this one. It's one of my least favourite of these special rares in the set. And it's a blocker that at the end of your turn sets one of your Don cards as active. Like, it's a good card, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't seem like a popular enough character to fit in with all the rest we're talking about here. And most of them are starter deck cards, but this one isn't. Like, Flampe stood out a little bit, but this really stands out as I don't understand why this got so special rare. But it is. But now, I've told you about this, so it's over to you guys. What do you think about the Manga lore? Do you think it's going to be as popular as I do? What do you think about these special rares? Which ones are your favourite? For me, it's the Newgate, but I also really love the Charlotte Pudding and the Sanji. So, and the Flampe as well, to be fair. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Get us! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.